welcome once again to our weekly Sunrise Project call, where it's always a safe space and a shame-free space when we are looking to heal ourselves and our families. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Whew, I am excited this morning to have my dear friend and soror and fierce champion of the SonRise Project back with us this morning, Dr. Lynn Richardson. We share the same last name, but we do not have the same parents, but she is a sister of mine from another mother. She's an ordained minister, a certified chaplain, author, entertainment executive, and celebrity financial coach who uses her quick wit and humor to help people face their money issues, make better decisions, as well as achieve personal, professional, and spiritual harmony. With almost 3 decades of leading roles in the financial services industries, Dr. Lynn's vision is best portrayed in her books, most notably Living Check to Monday, The Real Deal About Money, and Credit and Financial Security. Dr. Lynn is featured regularly on countless media outlets nationwide. She is currently the chaplain and president CEO of MC Light's Hip Hop Sisters Foundation and president and CEO of MC Light's Sunny Girl, an entertainment and celebrity management firm. In 2016, Dr. Lynn partnered with MC Light and others to launch the Wealth Experience, a 3-day New Year retreat she created for celebrities, entertainment, and corporate executives, as well as women from all walks of life. She is a global household name to millions of people around the world who have been seeking ways to manage the financial implications of what's happening in our world. In 2023, she partnered with Freddie Mac to teach mortgage professionals across the U.S. how to effectively close homes for borrowers from underserved communities with a program called A Seat at the Table. Dr. Lynn is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated for over 30 years, and she's the financial expert for the International Financial Wellness Initiative called Open the House, sponsored by Progressive, an incredible project we built together last year. She's also a wife and a mom to 3 beautiful adult daughters, and she is such an awesome human and friend and mentor of mine in many ways. So welcome back, Dr. Lynn. I'm so excited to have you here with us this morning to talk about how we can help create legacy, how we can create wealth for ourselves, as well as last-minute tax tips. We're 2 weeks out from tax day. So it's perfect timing to have you back with us this morning. Thank you for being here.
I am delighted to be here. Always a pleasure to be here and to share information that people need to change their lives. More importantly, to keep more money in their pocket. So thank you so much for having
Exactly.
me.
Yeah, let's start there. Let's start there. You have so many incredible practical tips, and one of your tools that you talk about is the 10-10-30-50 rule. Let's start there with how, because you just said you're going to help us learn how to keep more money in our pockets. How can we do that?
Well, I think right now we are definitely in a state of, we're in a position in time where money and partnership and the economic state is literally, we're in a state of emergency. That's what we are
Mm-hmm.
in. So if people are wondering what's going on, what's happening, the job market is completely insane. I know
Mm-hmm.
stories of people who have applied for hundreds of jobs with no interview, thousands of jobs that they've applied for with interviews and then being
Mm-hmm.
ghosted. It is not the same. People, and this is across the board. This is people who have degrees,
Mm-hmm.
master's degrees, PhDs, who cannot find a job. So if people are wondering, wow, this seems a little different, it's because it is. If
Mm-hmm.
people are wondering, this doesn't feel right, that's because it's not. And so
Right.
right now is the time to be vigilant. Right now is the time to be strategic. And right now is the time to pivot. If you do what you
Yes.
always did, you'll get what you always got. So now we don't want what we're getting. So we're going to do something different. So I'm going to go back to the very
Mm-hmm.
basics, and that is paying attention to every single dollar that comes in. And so the first 10% of everything you get, you tithe. I still believe that good givers are great getters, which is why I will show up here to the SonRise Project whenever you ask me to. And yes, I did. I forgot that I was traveling last week because I was in Atlanta for the Aware Fest, for the HBCU Aware Fest. So I will come here every single time. So the first 10% you tithe, good givers are great getters. Some may say, well, I don't have a church. Well, then give to the SonRise Project. Give to something that you believe in. Find a cause
Yes.
that is bigger than yourself. I really think, and when you
Hmm.
get to the place in life where it seems like everything is closing in on you and you don't know what to do, you don't know where to turn, then find a cause bigger than yourself and make a commitment to give to that. So the first 10% you tithe, the next 10% of every dollar you save. So again, you might be thinking, Dr. Lynn, these times are hard. I don't have any income coming in. So you're telling me that when I get $100, yes, I am saying give away $10 or put that aside to give away. Take $10 and save it, put it in a high yield savings account. Do not put your money that you're saving in your regular checking account. Do not save it in the savings account attached to your checking account at your bank. Be intentional right now and go and get every penny that is available to you. So ensure that you are saving that 10% in a high yield savings account. And although I don't work for them, I am not promoting anything for them. They've never had a partnership with me. The American Express high yield savings account is, in my opinion, the most prestigious. Everybody knows American Express. It's a great company. You can pick up the phone, you can call somebody, you can get on the phone. So American Express has a high yield savings account. So does Capital One. Now, if you Google high yield savings accounts, you'll find many other companies. I've never heard of most of them. They do exist and they are FDIC insured. I've just never heard of them, and you can't get anybody on the phone. So if I
Hmm.
can't get anybody on the phone ever, then that's a red flag to me. But I do know of those two high yield savings accounts. And this does not replace the money that is being taken out of your check for your 401k. You should continue to give to your 401k. And why? Because that's free money. If your
Yes.
employer is matching your 401k and they're matching the first 10% or 5% or whatever it is, I don't care if it's 50 cents, if it's a dollar, but most
Hmm.
employers are matching the first 3% or 3 to 5% of your pay in terms
Yes.
of your 401k. So you want to do that. So the first 10% you tithe, the next 10% you save, the next 30% is cash on a separate debit card for your incidentals. So if you have a regular subscription to your favorite things that you buy on Amazon every day or every week or every month. I know people who get Amazon boxes every day. I don't understand it. What are we buying every single day?
Exactly. Random things.
And the people in my house are in that group. My husband, my daughter Kennedy. I'm like, why are there Amazon boxes coming here every day? What is going on? My sister, like,
Hmm.
she's another one. They got Amazon coming every single day. I don't
Hmm.
understand it. But as long as that's on a separate debit card, 30%. That is your cash available to spend on what you want to spend on. So if you want to get coffee, if you want a subscription to the gym, if you want to go buy a new gadget for your iPhone, all of your incidentals have to come out of this 30%. And that is groceries as well. That is gas
Hmm.
at 8, 9, $10 a gallon. That is
Right.
eggs. Everything has to come out of this 30%. And what you'll recognize is you used to have this much money to spend on everything. Now you're looking at this much. And that's intentional because now you're going to keep
Hmm.
that spending contained in that amount. And
Hmm.
it literally helps you overcome a spending addiction, which is what you have when you go into the store for toothpaste and walk out with $179.47 worth of stuff you don't need, thinking it's on sale, but it wasn't on sale for you, right? So just because
Hmm.
something is on sale doesn't mean it's on sale for you. And I have a motto that says, if it
Yes.
ain't free, then it ain't on sale for me.
I love that. That's
If it
good.
ain't free, then it ain't on sale for me. Okay.
Hmm.
So we have to
Hmm.
mitigate what a sale really is. And then the
And can I
last
just ask a question? The
Mhm,
30% on the debit card,
mhm.
I know, me included, I use my American Express for everything because it gives me points.
Yes,
But to
use
your
your American
point, I'm
Express.
over,
Mhm.
way over what I should be spending every month. And so the
Well, yeah.
intentionality of the debit card
Yes, yeah. So if you
That's
can
key.
control the debit card spending to that amount. So if what you would have placed on your debit card is $2,000, then set your American Express to $2,000. Well, the problem with that could be you
Um,
may have other things coming out, so maybe do a separate American Express if you have a
yes.
gold versus a platinum, or if you've got that. But I am a 100% advocate of using your American Express to get all your points and then pay off the American Express with the cash that was on that debit card at the end of the month.
Got it.
So
Yep.
then you're
Okay.
getting those points. Yeah. So you're doing
Yes.
that. But for those who are really struggling with a spending addiction or really struggling with overspending and don't have enough money at the end of the month, or don't have too much month at the end of the money, then I recommend for a period of time getting into something that's more strict that can help to rewire your brain. Because
Yes.
until your mind changes about money, your money is not going to change.
I
Until your
love that.
mind changes, your money is not going to
Mm-hmm.
change.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
going to happen, right?
And the
So,
habits. I love putting a limit also. American Express
yes.
has the ability to put a limit. So if it's 30% of this amount of money that I'm bringing in, then because it's cash that you're bringing home, whatever you're bringing home, if
Mhm.
you have something, it's 30% of that, not the pre-tax number. It's the
Mhm.
after-tax number.
The
Okay,
after tax. Yeah, we're
cool.
talking about real dollars because we don't get
Okay,
that FICA them money. We don't get
right.
that. So we
Okay.
can only work with what we actually physically have. And then the
Mm-hmm.
remaining 50% stays in your checking account for your bills. That's a separate account for your bills, and they should come out automatically. When you get to the place that you can pay your bills on the first day of the month, and everything is paid and you don't have to look back. Now, you may not be rich. You may not be a billionaire. You may not be a millionaire, but you are in a space at that point to start to use what God has given you and your creativity
Hmm.
to expand and to
Right.
scale and to grow. Because if you have to worry about money and worry about how you're going to pay your bills every day, then that literally takes away from how you're going to focus on the things and the gifts and the talents that you have in order
Yes.
to get out of the financial mess. So if
Right.
you have more than enough money for your bills, then you want to start to either pay off debt. You may want to increase your savings so that you can
Mm-hmm.
get to up to 1 year of emergency fund savings. Now,
Okay.
when I first started this with you on the
Mm-hmm.
SonRise Project, but even many years ago when we first started working together and
Mm-hmm.
doing financial, providing financial information on television and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, you needed 3 months of expenses for your emergency fund. That's not the case anymore. You
Mm.
need to be able to say if something happened and there was an interruption in income, that I would have enough money to last me for the next year.
A
Because
whole year.
getting a
Mm-hmm.
job in 60 days and 90 days and 6 months, that is no longer the case. That
Right.
is no longer the case. So you want to start to increase your emergency fund, you want to pay off your debt, or you want to invest in your business because
Mm-hmm.
everybody needs a home-based business. Now people are getting it. When the
Yes.
TSA shuts down, when the government shuts down, when teachers' pensions are at stake, when companies pull the rug from under you and no longer sponsor your initiatives, when everything that we once could depend on
Mm-hmm.
starts to disappear, then it becomes very, very prevalent to many now
Mm-hmm.
that everybody has to have a home-based business. So you may want to save some of that money that's in your 50% and you want to allocate it towards starting your business, starting your LLC, expanding what it is that you do. If you are an author and you sell books and you're a speaker, instead of spending $6 per book, now you want to get your book cost down to $2 per book and order a
Mm-hmm.
thousand of them so that you're saving $4 per book. If you're saving $4 per book and you sell 1,000 books, that's $4,000. So
Yeah.
you just want to start to use that money to help you grow in
Yes.
a way that you're going to be able to see. If you don't have
Yes.
enough money for your bills, now you have to subtract. You have to be
Mm-hmm.
realistic. For me,
Mm-hmm.
30 years ago, 25 years ago, that meant I had to take my kids out of private school, put them in free school. I had to take them
Mm-hmm.
out of paid cheerleading going around the world, put them in the free cheerleading at the free school. I had to
Yeah.
take them out of the paid dance classes, put them in the free dance class at the free church next to the free school.
Yeah.
So, literally Those are the things.
Hmm.
And guess what? They're beautiful. My oldest graduated from
Yes.
Northwestern. My two youngest graduated from Howard. My middle daughter is your Alpha chapter
Hmm.
soror. She's in
Yep.
law school, finishing her second year law school. My youngest is working on a master's at USC. They're fine. They are
Yes.
fine.
They're
As a matter
better
of
than
fact,
fine.
better
They're
off for it.
good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Everybody's gonna be good. Yeah, everybody's
Yeah.
gonna be good. So
So
there's this
same.
belief that if
Mhm.
you don't put your kid in a private school, they're not gonna be successful. That's not the truth.
Right. No,
That is
not the
not,
truth at all. Not the truth
yeah.
at all. I'd say more about the home-based business and also how we can hire our children. How does that work? Because you've shared that before, and as we get ready for taxes, how do we do that as a write-off as we have if we have our children working within the business? How does it work, please?
So what I just talked about with the 10, 10, 30, 50, that's controlling your money, that's spending less
Yes.
money. You want to have
Yes.
more money, you're going to have to spend less. That's just what's going to have to happen.
Hmm.
If you spend $10 and you only have five, you're going to continue to struggle. There's no way around that. So you got to spend less money. Now you have to get more money. Everybody needs a home-based business, and you need to be thinking about how to monetize each of your gifts and talents. And I
Hmm.
talk about this in my book called The Symphony, a guide to creating and balancing multiple streams of income. And people say, well, how does it liken to a symphony? Well, at the symphony, there are many different instruments. And if you
Hmm.
play each one at the right time, they make one beautiful sound. Well, in your home based business, you need many different increments. Increments are
Hmm.
businesses that make money. And if you play each one at the right time, you'll have one big, beautiful bank account. So let's
Yes.
just say, for example, someone like me. I love to talk. Okay, I can go out and earn a fee to speak. Well, now let me turn my speech into a book. Now I have a book to sell. Well, now let me turn that book into a podcast. Now I've got a podcast. Now let me turn the podcast into a class. Now I can teach a class. One
Hmm.
talent of speaking can now turn into four streams of income that if
Hmm.
you implement them at the right time, they make one beautiful sound. And you've got multiple ways. Maybe someone can't pay me to speak, but I can come and speak and still sell my book. Maybe they
Yes.
cannot sell my book, but then or people don't buy the book, but they then want to get in my class. So you start to think about your life and your skills that way. Well, now that you have more money or more income streams, now you need to get your money back. What do I mean by
Hmm.
that? I literally mean if you went and spent $200 on groceries and came home and ate your groceries, and the grocery store manager called you 2 weeks later and said, come back and get your money, you'd run. You'd stop, drop, and roll and go and get your
Hmm.
money. Well, that's what the IRS says. The IRS says now that you have a home based business and you have all these increments, you have these businesses that make money, we're going to give you your money back at tax time. The money that you spent on your cell phone, if it was for personal reasons, you don't get it back. But if you use that cell phone in your business, now you get it back. The money that you
Hmm.
spent traveling for business, you're going to get that money back. The money that you spent putting gas in your car, driving your car. If you were driving for business, now you get that money back. The IRS says that hundreds of times. The IRS also says if you hire your kids, to help you
Hmm.
work in your home-based business. Remember, this home-based business,
Yeah.
you've got books, you have to travel. Your children can help you pack. They can help you with your social media. They can help you with your TikTok page because you probably don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing on
Exactly.
TikTok.
At all.
You don't know
Hmm.
what you're doing on TikTok. I
Hmm.
can tell you that
Hmm.
right now. If you
Yep.
over a certain, you do not know. Tabitha Brown's
Hmm.
daughter made her put that post on TikTok and she blew up. So your children can help you in your business. You hire them just like you hire anybody else. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't say, how do I hire my kids? Hire them. How would you hire somebody? How would
Yeah.
you hire a babysitter? How would you hire the gardener? How would you hire
Hmm.
somebody? You hire your child, you give them a job description, and you pay them a salary. Now, the money that you just paid to your child, you get that back. It's a tax write
Hmm.
off. It's a tax write off. So now the money that you pay them, they can now go spend that money on everything you were going to pay for them anyway. They can spend that money on school clothes, school supplies, track
Hmm.
lessons, swim practice, video games, food at the store when they go with their friends to the mall, movies, all the stuff that you were going to give them money for anyway.
Got it.
Now it's a tax write-off to you, and the first $16,100 that you pay them is tax-free to them. So if you are supporting your children in any way, and this is your adult children as well, instead you need to hire them in your business, give them a check, pay them a salary, and now everybody's going to win. So if you have one child, that's $16,100. If you have two children, that's $32,200. If you have three children like me, that's $48,300. I don't know
That you
about
write
you.
off. That's awesome.
I don't know
Hmm.
about you, but I can't sleep on $48,000. Now, maybe the
Hmm.
rest, maybe everybody else got $48,000 they can give away.
Right.
I don't
That's
have
phenomenal.
$48,000 I can give away.
No, no, no one
Now,
does.
and then here's the thing. You don't
Hmm.
recognize it while you're spending money every day. While you're waking up every
Hmm.
day, just like now, we wake up, we get on this call. You're going to leave here, you're going to do some things. You don't recognize it. But let me tell you when you
Hmm.
recognize it, when it's time to do those taxes.
That's right.
When it's time to do those taxes, you are either saying, "Oh my God, I'm so happy I hired my kids," like Dr. Lynn said at least 18 times coming here on the SonRise Project,
Yes, you have. Hmm.
or you're going to say, "I didn't do this." And so now you're looking at your tax person, and your tax person said you owe all this money, and you never did it. It makes a difference. And it's an
It
IRS
does.
publication 15. So if anybody tries to tell you, you can't, tell them, I said, you're lying. You're either lying or you're ignorant. You're
Mm,
either flat out lying to me or you're ignorant and you don't know, because it's in IRS publication 15 and it literally says family employees, and it literally says these are the rules when you hire your children. It says it there. But do you
that's
know how many
awesome.
people still say you can't do it or think you can't do it? And then they try to bring up child labor laws. Well, the Department of Labor says
Mm,
that a child of any age can work in a parent's home-based business. That's why everybody has to have a home-based business. A
that's
child
right.
of any age can work in a parent's home-based business, um, as long as it's not manufacturing, mining, or any kind of dangerous work. So there you
Right.
go.
And just that's phenomenal. Everything you said, a few questions, and there's some questions in the chat. On the home-based business, which should be a single member LLC, correct?
Or sole
Okay.
proprietorship. So you can just
Okay.
start right now. You can start selling your
Yeah.
candy or whatever it
Yeah.
is you
Or just
do.
consulting
Start
services.
consulting, or
Hmm.
at some point you may decide to have a single member LLC.
So
Don't
general,
complicate it, is the
make it
point.
simple. And the
Yep.
second, there's a few questions. The $16,000. Can you 1099 them? Do you
You can
1099 them?
1099 or W2, either or.
Which one's better?
1099
There's a question.
independent
Does
contractor.
which is
As an
better? Like
independent contractor, you don't have to do any paperwork or any filings every quarter. As a 1099.
independent
That's my
contractor.
recommendation, 1099. But
So
if you
a
want to
real
hire,
simple. Oh,
mhm.
go ahead. I'm sorry, cut you off. Go ahead.
A 1099 is better. It's no paperwork. It's very clean, very easy. But if you want to do a
Yes.
W, if you want a W2, then you can. But you don't have to
Yes.
pay any FICA. You don't have to pay any taxes. That's what it says in IRS publication 15. But 1099,
Gotcha.
keep it simple. Give them a 1099 at the end of the year. That's what I say.
That's it. And then they use the 1099 on their taxes. But if they're still dependents, you
If it's
know,
under $16,100, it's tax free.
that's what you're saying. So they don't have to
Hmm.
file anything
Hmm.
if it's under 16,000, sixteen
Yep.
thousand one hundred per child. So if you
Hmm.
have four kids, that's a huge number. Even one child, that's a huge
Even
number.
one. And people
And
don't realize you're definitely spending that much money on your kids a year. You're definitely spending that much
absolutely. Well,
money.
tuition,
Definitely.
possibly, college
Tuition,
tuition, everything,
childcare,
trips.
trips,
Hmm.
Christmas toys, birthday
So you
presents.
pay them that amount, and then from their checking account or what have you, those expenses get paid by them, theoretically, but they get paid out of their account. Correct? That's
Yeah.
that's
You
all
pay
legal.
them, they buy their own stuff. Simple.
That's
You pay
fantastic.
them, you give it to them. You cannot say you're paying your child if you never give them the money. So yes, you have to put it in their account and then they use their account. So this is not hard. It's not rocket science. My
That's
six-year
right.
old, my daughter, who is 25 now, she'll be 25 this year. They said, "Well, how long have you been working for your mom?" She was 6. She had her own checking account when she was 6 years old, taking it to
That's
school,
so
writing her own check.
fantastic. So it's
This is not
just,
hard.
and at
And
20,
wealthy people have been doing this forever. So I
Yes.
just don't want us to start acting confused, because we're not. This is not confusing. What
Right.
happens is people don't believe it, and then you start acting confused when you really just don't believe it. If you don't believe it, then keep doing what you're doing. But it's not hard.
It's not hard. So I just want to
Not hard.
reiterate, there's several people are asking, no kid pays income taxes if they're adults. So if you have a 27, in your case of one of your daughters who's 25, they don't pay taxes on it because it's under
The
16,100.
first $16,100 is a standard deduction across the board, and you don't pay taxes on the first $16,100 that you earn. Yes, that's correct.
Got it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
And
Dr.
even if they
Vicky saying
do,
this works. Listen, y'all.
yeah,
She's saying, listen to
yeah,
Dr. Lynn. It
yeah, and
works.
even if they do pay taxes, that's not your problem. Okay. So now,
Mhm.
but I'm going to give you an answer to that problem. If they have to pay taxes because they earn over $16,100, now they need a home-based business. I said everybody needs a home-based business. Everybody knows
Yes.
I represent Van Van, if you don't know. Van
Yes, we love
Van,
Van Van.
Van
Hmm.
Van is a full income earning individual, and she has a home-based business. Okay.
And she's
So,
8 years old.
yep, she's 8 years old. So everybody gets a home-based business. Okay. But don't start
So
talking yourself
mhm.
out of it before you do it. Do it.
That's right. Do
And
it.
then as you run into the
Mhm.
next issue, then do that. And then let that person get a home-based business. So when my kids were in college, you don't do tutoring sessions. You're always the tutor because you're teaching
Mm,
everybody else at the table. So that's your tutoring job,
got
right?
you.
So everybody
Hmm.
needs a home-based business. And everybody ultimately needs a financial education, because you cannot get a financial education in the next 30 minutes on this call. You can get an
That's right.
introduction, but you cannot get the full education. So the reason why people fail in life is because they don't know what they don't know, and they think they know, and then they don't want to study what they have to study. So everybody needs a
Hmm.
financial education so you can understand the tax code, understand all the benefits, understand all the things. When you
Hmm.
understand it, then you can actually go out and live your financial life comfortably.
I
Yes.
love this. It's so
Hmm.
good. So what you're saying, everyone needs a home-based business. It's easy to set up, on incorporate.com, I know does it for like, I think it's $99 or $199. Then they pay the registered taxes every year. It's real simple. So, all right, did I get all the questions here? I think I got all the questions. Yes, that's awesome. So we have to own our own home-based business. And then our children need them too, no matter what age they are. So, and the
Yeah,
write-offs and
if you're
mhm,
concerned about them paying taxes. Yeah, if you're concerned about your kids paying taxes because they earn over 16,100, but there are multiple things you can do there. They can take that money, put it in their own, start their own IRA, start their own
mhm,
retirement account, then that becomes a tax deduction. So again, there's a lot of different steps, to
mhm,
get to, but what people say is, oh, well, then they're going to owe taxes, so I'm not going to do it. Doesn't make any sense.
gotcha.
Everybody who has a child who has not hired them in the home-based business, at some point, I'm just going to look at you like this.
Because you have said it every time
I'm
you've
going to
been
look at you
here.
like, what's wrong?
Hmm.
What's wrong with you?
Hmm. That's right.
Now I'm starting to think it's something wrong.
Right. And it's just easily showing the money being transferred or
Hmm.
paid into that child's account, their own account, and then ensuring that potentially they use it on things that make sense. That's what I'm trying to get to. They use it on things like tuition themselves, right? That's the key. That's all I'm trying to say. That's the way
Pay
it
your
could.
child, and then
Hmm.
your child pays for their own things.
That's right. All the things. There's one more question that says, can your child work another job and for you?
Absolutely. There's no law saying you can't have more than one job.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Hmm.
awesome. So good. Okay, so that is how we can legally, hire our children, how we can really start to build wealth and legacy. That's so critical. And so,
I
what
see a
addition?
question.
Oh, you
I
do?
want
Go
to make
ahead.
sure yeah.
Yes.
It says, I have
Yes.
an adult. I have a home-based business, but already filed did include my adult as an employee, but I'm paying him every month for something. Can I file an extension to add him as an employee? Here's the question. Was he an employee or not? Did you hire him? Did you have an employment agreement? And did you pay him a salary? because what you don't want to start doing is lying.
That's
I'm
right.
not into lying. I'm not into trying to cheat the IRS. Okay?
No,
That's not what I'm into doing. Either you hired him and you were paying him a salary or you weren't. And
that's
if you
right.
were not, then start right now, like at 9:35 Eastern time, right this minute.
That's
Yep.
right.
hmm So yeah, definitely not an advocate of trying to figure it out and
That's
trying to
right.
outsmart the IRS. No, this is the IRS has said you can legally and ethically avoid paying taxes. And they have provided hundreds and hundreds of ways for people to avoid paying taxes. But if you want people to learn something, if you want people to actually know something, what you should do is put it in writing because they're not going to read. They're definitely
Mm,
not going to read. Nobody's going to read. They're not going
yeah.
to read. And then if they hear it, they're not going to hear it if it's the truth. People
Mm,
only believe scams. People believe
mm,
scams all day long. So if I was
mhm,
the kind of person that I believe scams, I would be concerned.
mhm,
But if
mhm,
I believe a scam, but a truth I don't want to hear. A truth I'm going to question every single thing, but a scam I'm just going to run and do it. That's
mhm.
because people believe in make believe. People
Yeah,
believe in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. People believe in Cinderella. People like fairy tales. We like happy endings. So if
we
someone
do.
says to you, I'm going to come and give you this, and at the end of it, you're going to get $1 million, we'd be so happy and ready to run and get that $1 million. And it was a fairy tale. But if
That's right.
somebody tells you, actually, you have to work hard, you have to do these steps, you have to do these things, nobody believes that.
Yeah,
But that's actually the truth, right?
right.
So the IRS has given us permission to avoid paying taxes. What the IRS
Yes,
does not give us permission to do is evade. Evasion will land
that's
you in
right.
jail. Avoidance uh, helps you keep more money in your pocket. And so I had to say
Absolutely.
that, and I had to say it in a strong way to kind of snap us out of the
Yes,
uh, I don't know, fantasy world that we're in of doubting things that are actually true, but believing things that are not.
right. I love that. And so I'm
hmm
glad I took your advice last year. Praise God. I did.
Yes,
So I'm grateful for that.
yes. So did
Um,
he and
so
so many others. Yes, yes.
yes, and evasion lands you in jail, avoidance saves you money. Yes, yes, Dr. D, put that in there. There is a question also. It says if our kids were already operating a home-based business in 2025, but did not apply to get a tax ID number for the business, can they claim expenses incurred via their business under their social security number?
I don't understand that question. Would you like to raise your hand so you
That's
can
Dr.
clearly?
D. Can you? I think
Okay, yeah.
I think what she's
Yeah,
saying is
let's talk through that question because I don't understand it.
so I think the question is about the young adult is already operating a home-based business because I think Dr. D is somewhere where she's unable to come off of mute. If our the young adult has a home-based business, but they don't have a tax ID number for
Oh, got
the
it. Okay,
business.
so yeah, a tax ID number is not required for a business.
Hmm.
Tax ID number is not required for a business. You could be a sole proprietor. It's okay.
Oh, I did not know that
That's what
because
I
that's
said. Yeah, a sole proprietor, remember? So you could be a sole proprietor. You can go, you can walk. I can walk right now in this minute at 6:38 a.m. I can go from not being in business to being in business at 6:38 a.m. Pacific time, 9:38 a.m. Eastern time. And I can say right now, I am a consultant and
yes,
my business is Lynn Richardson, and my
yes,
social security number operates as my tax ID number. There is no requirement to get a tax ID number to be in business. That is not a
as a
requirement.
sole proprietor.
Correct.
So,
And
Dr.
everybody can be a consultant. Everyone can be a consultant.
Everybody
Yes.
can be anything that you want to
Hmm.
be. I can start
That's right.
driving Uber. I don't have
Right.
to have a tax ID number. I can start mowing
Right.
people's lawns. I don't
Yes.
have to have a tax ID number. I can start tutoring people. I don't have to have
Yes.
a tax ID number. I
Right.
need everybody gets off of that. Where did y'all, who told y'all that?
Yes. Well, we
Where
never
Yes,
did y'all get
learned
that
because
from?
our parents haven't taught us.
But
And,
I've been saying it, I done said it 10,000 times. Y'all keep asking
yeah.
me the same question.
You
Every
Yeah,
time I
right.
Dr.
come
Lynn.
back, y'all get stuck on the same question about a tax ID
You're
number.
right.
Throw it out the door.
You're right. So Dr. D is on. She's come off of mute. So we go
Yes.
ahead.
Okay.
So I
Get
do
out your
remember
mind.
you saying that, Dr. Lynn. So I do remember that part. I
Mhm.
think the bigger question for me is the filing of the taxes. So the IRS does not know. So my son has been operating as his own business owner for many years, but this will be the first year that we're going to, or that I am going to attempt to file his expenses under his own business as opposed to claiming him under mine because I
Hmm.
did not pay this particular son. So
Right.
when we file his taxes, we would file use the same form that we used last year for me. And that's my
Hmm.
understanding with his,
Yes.
so because that's the way we did it for me last year. Thank you for that, Dr. Lynn. So I'm just trying to mimic what we did for myself for him,
Yes.
even though we're on him. So I just want to make sure all of that
Mhm.
Yes,
works.
no tax ID number is required. So on his tax return, he'll have a Schedule C, Schedule 1 now, and it asks for your name or your business name. It asks for your Social Security number or your EIN. So if he's functioning as his own business just with his Social Security number, it's fine. Yep, and at
Okay, just
whatever point he wants to start. So I could have been operating as a sole proprietor consulting since 2020. But now in 2026, I want to file the first time. It's 100% okay. Hmm.
Yes.
that's what I figured. Thank you, Dr. Lynn.
Yes, yes.
It's awesome. There's another hand up as well. Good morning, Taj.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Dr. Lynn. Just to Dee's point, I just want clarity, So I understand what you just said, but how about you've been doing this business to her point for so long, but it's still required to be registered with your state, correct? Or
I
you
said
not?
nothing about registering anything with the state. Why do y'all
No,
keep coming up with new stuff?
I'm just saying I'm asking a question.
Nope.
Okay.
So if I decide, okay, I am Lynn Richardson and I'm gonna go speak at the library, they're gonna pay me for a fee. I don't have to go register that with the state. Where did y'all get that from?
Mhm.
The reason why is because I want you all to stop coming up with reasons why you can't when you've been told that you can. I did
Mhm.
not say do this and register with the state. And I did not forget. I'm telling you, this is what I'm telling you. Okay. So
Mhm.
don't ask me what if again. All right. I'm telling you, you can start a business right now at 6:42 a.m. Pacific time, 9:42 a.m. Eastern time, right now.
That's right.
If you had to go register for the state, I'd say, okay, make sure you register with the state. I'd say none of that. You can be in business right now. Now, that does not eliminate common sense that says if I'm going to be a doctor, I actually have to go to medical school and get a license to practice as a doctor. Okay. If I'm going to do nails, I have to go get a license to actually do the nails and post the license in my shop. Licensing for your business is separate from registering with the
Mhm.
state. If you are a sole proprietor, you can start working right now in this minute with nothing but your eyes, your nose, your ears, your fingers, and your brain.
Mhm.
You don't need to do
Mhm.
anything else. Nothing else. Nothing. Nothing
Mhm.
else. Okay?
Awesome. That's great. Dr. Vicky has her hand up too.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr.
Good
Lynn.
morning.
Good
I
morning.
I just want to reinforce the simplicity of what you're saying. Sometimes
Mhm.
things can be so simple, as you said earlier, we don't believe it. And I
Mhm.
think it's also been made to appear complicated intentionally for
Yep.
us to keep us out.
Mhm. Mhm.
Leading me to this point, I feel like
Mhm.
you are a financial Harriet Tubman for us,
Yes. I feel
Oh, I
like that too.
love
right?
that.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
we are in economic slavery, literally, for the most people of color,
That's
even if
right.
it's just in our mindset. So like Harriet said, I could have freed more had they known or acknowledged or even had the wherewithal to recognize that they were
Mm,
enslaved. And so I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted
mhm,
to insert to the community to just take a deep breath, be open, take
mm,
notes, and just be willing to try something new. That's all I wanted to say. This is so powerful. You have said it over and over and
mhm,
over again. But,
mhm.
Harriet kept coming back to get the few
Yeah,
that
but
were ready. So thank
she would
you.
also pull out her shotgun
Absolutely.
because she was gonna save people. She was gonna free them whether they wanted to or not. At this point, you coming.
Right,
And I got the shotgun. Well, this is where I
right,
got the shotgun. I
exactly.
have the virtual shotgun. Yeah, y'all coming. Let's go.
Right. We can
Stop
do
looking back.
this. And all the
Yeah.
money we give our kids,
Yeah.
whether it's allowance or, whatever, it's a simple flip of the mindset to make this
Yes.
happen. And $16,100 is a quick, easy write-off. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one child, especially if you have
Yep.
multiple. Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
let's repeat, as a sole
Yes.
proprietor, you are operating with your name, your social security number. You don't need to register anything with anybody. However, if you are in a licensed field, so if I am a real estate agent, I have to get a real estate license. If I am an insurance agent, I have to get an insurance license. If I'm a financial coach, there is no license to get. If I so look, apply that to whatever your industry is or whatever it is, and that's where. Now, if I decide I want to go get an LLC or a
Hmm.
corporation, now
Yes.
I have to start filing things. I have to get an EIN. I have to do all of those things. But I'm also going to say, don't do it online at startmybusiness.com. Have a conversation with someone because most people who have LLCs have janky businesses. You have an LLC, but
Hmm.
you don't have any resolutions. You don't
Right.
have a record book. You don't have
Right.
anything. And in that case,
Bylaws. Hmm.
now you are operating illegally and out of order. I'm talking
Hmm.
illegally, you're operating and you're completely out of order because now every time you put money in that account, and you have an LLC and you don't have resolutions or a corporate record book stating what you do, when, where, and why, and no operating agreement, no dissolution agreement, then yes, you're now operating out of order. And you could be in a position where if something were to happen and you were sued, they'd come after your business and your personal. And the whole point of getting an entity, an LLC or corporation, is to separate you, the individual, Lynn
Yep.
Richardson, from the company Lynn Richardson LLC, so that if the LLC does something and gets into a lawsuit, then they don't come for Lynn Richardson's personal home and my cup of
That's right.
coffee that's in my
That's
hand.
right.
Okay?
That's right. That's so good. So, and simply doing a sole proprietorship, your name, your social security number, and then when you file your taxes, all you need is that. You need that. That's it. And you need a bank
Mm-hmm.
account for the money to
Mm-hmm.
go from that business to your children.
Uh-huh.
That's it. But when you open the bank account, you're not saying it's a business account to the bank, right? Because then they would require that EIN number. You just putting
No.
it in your name.
Nope, 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 nope. Mm-mm.
No,
Nope.
that's wrong.
Mm-mm. That's wrong
That's
too.
okay. So say more,
Yeah.
please.
So if I am a sole proprietor, and I have a business and I am a consultant and I'm operating in my business as a sole proprietor, when I go open that account, I can open a sole proprietor account with my name and my social security number, just like I'm opening a regular personal account, except that I'm calling this account my sole proprietor business account.
Got you.
That,
That's it.
yeah,
It's easy.
that happened. So let me tell you the story about that. Once again, I was right and everybody else in the world was wrong. I'm talking
Hmm.
everybody else. But it took a pandemic in order for us
Hmm.
to realize that. So when the pandemic hit and they allowed sole proprietors to apply for the EIDL, they said if you are a sole proprietor, you can apply for the EIDL and the PPP, and you can have a separate bank account.
Hmm.
Citibank was the first company. I'd already known this. You can open a business account. You don't need an EIN. I know that
Hmm.
you've been going to banks and they've been saying you have to have an EIN if you want a business account, but that
That's
is not
right.
the truth. However, now they are recognizing, yes, I can have a sole proprietor account using my name and my social security number, but this account is for business. It is for business expenses because the government allows me to operate as a sole proprietor. The IRS allows me to operate as a sole proprietor, and now the banks have caught up to that. If for some reason you're you're at a bank, let's say you're at a small credit union, or you're at a bank that's just very, very conservative, and they will only allow you to open a business account with an EIN, then you go to another bank.
Got
You
you.
either
That's the
go to
point.
another bank, you go to another bank, or you open an individual account for your business purposes, but you know that that is for your business expenses and your business
Got it.
income.
Fantastic. Okay. So yes, because I think what's happening is people are still saying, no, that can't be that simple. And that's the conundrum. So before we run out of time, I just want to ask another question because I remember on one of the calls you talked about your husband and how he is, and you shared this, he is the driver. He's your
Driver, security,
all of those
shipping,
expenses are
yes.
write-offs.
Mhm.
That's just
Yeah, so
phenomenal.
everybody works for the business. Everybody, the kids, the husband, the grandmother. Shaquille O'Neal has a video out that's viral where
Yes.
he says, "I hired my whole family." So if I go buy my house, if I go buy my mother a house for $1 million or $500,000, now I owe taxes. First of all, the money left my account, I had to pay for it. Then the money's going to leave my account again because I now have to pay taxes on it. But if I pay my mom a salary, if I pay my dad a salary, if I pay all my kids a salary, then now it's a tax write-off. So if Shaquille,
Yes.
let me tell y'all something. You all may have an issue with your president of the United States of America, but let me tell you one thing that he did right. He understands the tax code, and so do his people. Okay,
He sure
so
does.
yeah, it's for real. So I just don't want us to stay in such a state of disbelief, because what happens when we stay in a state of disbelief, then we don't act. And so
That's right.
every year after year after year after year, we're staying in the same place financially where we're not winning, and we want to start winning.
That's awesome. There's a question that says, Dr. Lynn, can you please post that video with you explaining the financial slavery while you are walking? The one
Yes.
you play on your class intro.
Okay, let me go find it.
So what class is she referring to? This is Carmen in the notes. What
This is
class?
probably my home-based business class.
26.
Hold on, let me find
The
it.
perfect trap. 40 hours keeps you alive.
Okay, let me find it here for you
Awesome.
guys. Okay,
Super
here we go.
helpful.
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna share my screen,
Okay.
and I'm gonna place the link in the chat. This is good for all of us.
Awesome. Thank you. The fact that you can grab that so quickly and how organized you are has always
It's
been
at
something that I love.
lynnrichardson.tv. So yeah, so now when you have your home-based business, you have your website, and then you have all variations of it. So lynnrichardson.com is my store, lynnrichardson.tv is my YouTube page, lynnrichardson.info go. So you have all those things. But I teach all of that. Let me share this with you. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it
Okay,
perfectly.
here we go.
You have on the Joy sweatshirt.
Yep, I sure do. Let's see here. Okay, here we go.
In 1926, they discovered the perfect trap. 40 hours keeps you alive, but too tired to escape. They ran the numbers, they tested different work schedules, and found the sweet spot. 40 hours, not because it's optimal for productivity, because it's optimal for control. Let's do the math. 40 hours of work, 10 hours commuting, 56 hours sleeping, 14 hours for eating, showering, and basic survival. That's 120 hours, leaving you 48 hours of free time, except you're exhausted. So you spend Saturday recovering from the week and Sunday dreading Monday. Your weekend isn't freedom, it's recovery time, so you can do it again Monday morning. The alarm goes off and you feel it, that existential dread. 5 days until freedom. 5 days of giving your life away for what? A paycheck that disappears instantly with rent, bills, food, loans, nothing left. You want to start that business? You're too tired to learn that skill, too tired to build that project. You're too tired. That's not an accident. That's the design. If you had energy left over, you'd leave. If you had money left over, you'd build something. If you had time left over, you'd organize. They can't let that happen. So they found the formula. Just enough money to survive, just enough time to not completely break, just enough energy to come back tomorrow, but never enough to escape. And then they tell you, work hard for 45 years, then you can retire. So you do it. You trade your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s for a paycheck. And at 65, you're free, except your body's broken and your energy is gone. You spent your best years building someone else's dream, and your freedom came too late to use it. The 40-hour work week isn't about productivity. It's about compliance. To keep you tired, keep you poor, keep you busy, too exhausted to think, too broke to leave, too busy to organize. That's not employment. That's control. And you'll do it for the next 45 years unless you break or escape. But maybe you won't because you can't afford to. That's the trap. I'm here to tell you, you can be free, but they are not going to give you the keys.
And on that point, that's the point. They're not going to give you the keys. You're not going to get the keys. The keys to be financially free are not going to come falling in your lap, looking simple. That's the whole point.
Right.
No one who creates a prison for you also give you the keys to get out.
That's right.
That's one. We should all take that and do t-shirts with it.
That's right.
Second part of that is, and you've heard this before, many people are so used to being enslaved that when they get the keys, they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave. Or they don't believe that they can walk through the door. The door could be open, but they don't know that they could be free.
That's right.
So what the world is doing right now, it's closing in. And literally, this is a blessing. People are looking at this as, oh my God, what's going on? It's so terrible. It's actually not terrible. What it's showing you is what you've been told. Everybody needs a home-based business. Everybody needs multiple streams of income. Everybody must have multiple streams of income, and everybody has to get a financial education if you want to thrive and not just survive. Right. That's what this world is showing us right now.
That's right.
It's good.
So speaking of that, Thrive, you have a business called Thrive Tax, right? Where you help people. So share more about that. We're almost out of time, but Thrive Tax, share about that business.
Yeah. So most people, if you go to your CPA, they pretty much only do whatever you have given them. So they'll take your paperwork and they'll file your taxes. And then if you ask them 2 questions, they'll tell you no. It's not because you can't do it. It's because they don't know. And it's because it's not your CPA's job to teach you. Your CPA's job is not to go teach you or to help you expound upon the 45 minutes of a financial education you've gotten here. Your CPA's job is only to file your taxes. Well, at Thrive Tax, we do both. We educate and file. So at thrivetax.net, you can get a pre-tax analysis. So you can set up a consultation, pay for that consultation. They'll go through your expenses and they'll say, well, this isn't a tax write-off, but it can be if you do this. This isn't a tax write-off, but it can be if you do that. And then they'll give you a side-by-side comparison, and you'll see the side that shows how much taxes you owe or how much money you get back by not having a home-based business and applying your tax deductions. And you'll see a side-by-side comparison that shows you that you do. And so I know that there are folks here who have a testimony where you just made one switch on your tax return and called it from being what it was to now self-employed, and it saved you sometimes $5,000-$10,000. So it's the truth. It's a
wonderful tool. And you have classes because we're almost out of time. So how can people take your classes, download your workshops? What's the best place to do that?
The best place to go is to join me tonight at 9to5trap.com. 9to5trap.com. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time.
Okay.
9to5trap.com. Go there and learn everything that you need to get started on your home-based business journey and developing multiple streams of income and getting a financial plan. I don't want to sell you anything because you're not going to buy anything that you don't understand. Rightfully so. I'd much rather you learn why you need a home-based business, why you need multiple streams of income, but more importantly, why you need a whole financial education if you want to get out of the situation that you're in. And whether that situation is you're really, really struggling or you're doing okay, but you're not sure if you're going to stay okay.
Yes.
If you are not 100% clear about your financial future and how it adds up and how the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, then you want to get an education.
I
And I'm
love that.
excited to share
So
that with
I
you.
just signed up for that. So it's saying it's Wednesday or Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
There's actually going to be one tonight. There's a bonus. So what you'll get once you
Okay.
sign up, you'll get a text message telling you that you can actually join us tonight.
Oh, awesome. Okay, that's
Mhm.
wonderful. So signed up for that. You are such a blessing, Dr. Lynn. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
you all are blessings too. And I love you all so much. Thank you for letting me be
Hmm.
Medea. Medea,
Yes.
sometimes it's a little rough. You got to say out your amen. But
Uh-huh.
it's truth and it's with love and it's to help us
Yeah.
go and keep moving.
Yes.
So thank you for the
Yes.
privilege and the
I
honor.
love having you here, and we'll have you back again. And so appreciate you. The advice is priceless, and we don't learn this. So now it's time to take what you've been saying and actually put it into action. And there's still time, even this
Yes,
year before our
absolutely.
taxes.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes. So
Incredible.
yes, your
So
text, your confirmation is going to say Wednesday. You're going to get a message later that says join me tonight. So don't worry.
we will
That's an
be there.
automation, but I decided at the last minute, I decided to do another class tonight yesterday because I was at a Delta Sigma Theta open the house event and I had
Yay.
a room full of PhD college educated women who did not know anything about money.
Right. And the
You
next
had
conversation we have to talk about is putting
mhm.
things into a trust. That's a whole
Yes.
thing. Like, how do we maintain legacy or build legacy via a
Yes.
trust? And
And
I know you've said
yes.
many times everybody needs a trust.
Yes. And I'm going to say this, trying to address one financial thing without the other is
Hmm.
like trying to make sure your knees and your knees are okay. So you're going to fix your knees, but now you have gangrene in your toes and they're about to cut your feet off.
Right.
You gotta take care of it
Fix the
all.
whole thing.
You have
That's
to take
right.
care of the toes, the circulation,
Hmm.
the feet,
Hmm.
the ankles, the legs, the knees, the
Yes.
hips, the spine,
Hmm.
the stomach,
Hmm.
the arms, the eyes, the fingers. Everything works together.
That's
You
right.
can have a hand, but if you're missing your middle finger, you're going to have to function differently. If you're missing your baby, all of it works together. It's here for a reason. So there are 8 pieces of your financial life that all need to work together, all 8 of them. If
All
any one of
8.
them is broken, if any one of them is missing, you're going to need crutches or a cane
Hmm.
or a cast.
That's right.
So that's the
8
visual.
pieces. And we
Yeah.
talked about one of the 8 today, I imagine. One
Which
of
is
the
just
8.
one. Yeah. And we
So,
only talked about a
mhm,
little bit of it. So, yes.
got you. But we got such
Mhm.
a big taste and
Yes.
wonderful advice. So thank you again. I wish we had more time, but we'll have you back again another time to talk about one of
Yay.
the other 8. You're just incredible. Love you so much and
Yes.
appreciate you. And Dr. Vicky will close us out with a prayer this
Mhm.
week.
God, we thank you for this day. Thank you because it's the day that you have made, and we choose to rejoice and give you glory. Thank you because you said wisdom is the principal thing, but in all of our getting to get understanding. So thank you for Dr. Lynn, her work, her mission, her purpose, her commitment to helping us become financially free. Thank you for Kelly and Dee. Thank you for the anointing of Issachar, that is an understanding of the times we live in to know what we should do. We're grateful for it. Thank you for continuing to bless the SonRise Project Sunday Support Call community. We give you glory. We thank you that the seeds planted today has fallen into good ground and that we will just all do one thing in the direction of our financial freedom. Thank you again for the fruit that will be produced. Continue to bless Dr. Lynn and her family for the sacrifices that she continues to make. Replenish her, restore her, and continue to make her name great in the earth. And we give you glory for these things. In your name we pray. Amen. Have a powerful day, everyone.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See you next week back here at 9 a.m. Appreciate you so much, Dr. Lynn. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Vicky, for the beautiful prayer as always. Have a great day. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Take care.